We are live, and we are live where? I've forgotten. Hang on. Okay, we're live on Facebook on my own personal profile. Hello, personal profile. We're live on Facebook on the live video hub with Stephen. We're also live on YouTube, and in a moment, we will be live on Amazon Live. Go live. I love how that works every time. It's a lot easier. When I started doing this just over a year ago, you had to go through a series of hoops to go live. Now, you set everything up, and when you're live, you press one button and you're live on Amazon Live, and you can take comments and share them in your studio. Progress. So thank you, Be Live. I'm just going to change theme for a moment and go here and apply. I'm getting all sorts of bells and whistles going off in the background, and it says my theme has been updated and that I am live on Amazon Live. Which is good. If you're watching elsewhere, please do say hello. If you want to join me on Amazon Live, then please click the link up above. That will take you to Amazon Live. Hello, this is Stephen in wonderful Wiltshire in England. Alexa, what is the temperature?
At the moment, it's 21 degrees Celsius.
Alexa, stop.
Tonight,
Right, so it's 21 degrees Celsius. It's just over 70. And well, it was quite cool this morning. We've got used to being warm, and it's not warm yet. It should be. I mean, the warmest part of the day now is 4 o'clock. So we're at the warmest part of the day, and it's 21 degrees. So that's good. Anyway, you're watching. Let's get down to business, shall we? Welcome to the broadcast with Stephen, live from England. This is a Lights, Camera, Action with Stephen Healy. And I am broadcasting today, as I always do, most days, from Be Live. And that's the logo that's going to appear up there as soon as I press the right button. So that's it. Wherever you see that logo, it's actually Be Live. So, and thank you for watching me. And thank you for joining me on Amazon Live. I'm here today to talk about Lights, Camera, Action. So we're talking about webcams, microphones, audio gear, live video, and Fitbits. And Fitbits is the place we're actually going to start. So that will be with us in a moment. Now, I'm one of over 2,000 independent broadcasters on Amazon Live. We don't work for Amazon. We are totally independent, and we'll give you honest reviews. I own 75% of what's in the carousel, so I use it on a regular basis. If you've got any questions, then please do ask. If you just want to say hello and where you're from, that's good too. And if you want to chat, that's good. If you do make a comment on Amazon or on Facebook or on YouTube, then it will be shown on screen. If you're watching today, we can actually broadcast simultaneously to a platform that's been around for years and has always said, if you're going to go live on our platform, you can't use the video for 24 hours. And that site is Twitch. So we're live on Twitch for the first time ever. Amazon Live and Twitch at the same time. So that's good. That's absolutely brilliant. So let's go down to the carousel. And we will come to the cameras. We're going to be looking at Logitech Brio, the Obspot Tiny, but we're going to start off with one of my favorite pieces of equipment. And I'm just looking down the carousel to find it. And that's the Fitbit. I think I've got one in the carousel. I'm sure I have. There's a new Fitbit been released. And as soon as it's available, Angelica and I are actually getting one. We tend to change our Fitbits every 2 years when a new model comes out. And I'm struggling. Oh, this is live video. Okay, thank you for watching me on Amazon Live, and thank you for staying with me. Fitbit Inspire 2 is down in the carousel. It has 64,622 4.5-star reviews, and the reason for showing it today is that it's 34% off. Okay, when an item in the carousel is on a special price, because we get special prices when we're live, Amazon gives us special discounts. So 34% off the Fitbit Inspire 2, which is here. And And basically, this is how I keep fit. It's my main thing for keeping fit is the Fitbit HR Inspire 2. And I've got one. My partner Angelica has got one. And Angelica set a challenge at the beginning of this year. And the challenge is simple and straightforward. Every single day of 2022, go outside and go for a walk. And that's when your exercise starts, when you actually go outside the door and go for a walk. Now, the walk can be a mile, it can be 2 miles, 3 miles. The other day, it was 7 miles, as you'll see shortly. But the more time you spend out of doors walking, the fitter you get. Simple equation. And the aim of the Fitbit is to measure how many steps you do. But that's just the beginning. The first thing to note is that it's quite stylish. This is the standard. And basically, you can have any color of strap that you want. Click the link in the carousel. It will take you to the fitbit.com page for the Inspire 2, and you can choose the band that you have. Okay. The central part is the lozenge there, and its job is to count your steps. Now, 2,000 steps equals 1 mile. And my personal target is to do 8,000 steps a day. That keeps me fit. That allows me to do other things, which I'll talk about in a minute. But this is the greatest fitness device. I mean, with the exception of swimming, where you actually get wet. And well, you can actually get wet when you're using a Fitbit. So what am I talking about? But the thing about the Fitbit is there is it's not a subscription model. You pay the dollars in the carousel, and that's it. Everything I'm going to show you in the next few minutes is totally free. Google own Fitbit. So in terms of financial backing, they've got the backing of Google. So Google liked the product so much, they didn't just buy a Fitbit, they bought the whole company. And the level of service from Fitbit is excellent. Now, the reason for having a Fitbit to measure your steps is to stay fit. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen. So I'm doing a screen share. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you my personal dashboard. Okay. If you're wondering how this fits into my Amazon Live broadcast, this is the action. Lights, camera, action. Remember, name of the show, lights, camera, action with Stephen. This is the action part. Okay, so I've got the screen share in. I'm just going to bring it on screen. There it is, full screen. This is my personal dashboard on Fitbit. And everything I'm about to show you, just need to move 1 or 2 things about. I'll be on camera in 3, 2, 1, 0. I don't want to be that way around. I really do want to be that way around. Okay. Everything I'm about to show you now is totally free. When you buy your Fitbit, the first thing you do is to register your warranty. You go to fitbit.com and register your warranty. The second thing you do is to join the Fitbit Community, which is a group of millions of people from around the globe who've got one main aim, and that's to stay fit. The thing you have in common already is that you and they use a Fitbit to stay fit. So the first item on there you see is community. Now, the community is run by the community for the community. So it's free. And you can basically join any of the communities which are available on fitbit.com. They're free to join, and the advice given to you will be by people who are actually using Fitbits, and even coaches are in there as well. So everybody's actually in the community. But my favorite thing is this. Every week there are 2 challenges. There's a weekday challenge from Monday through to Friday, and a weekend challenge Saturday and Sunday. They're free to join. They're run by members for members. And the basic idea is it's a ladder. And the aim of everybody, of course, is to be at the top of the ladder and not at the bottom. The more steps you do, the higher up the ladder you go. Now, my aim is to be roundabout in the middle. Yeah. Okay. That's my personal aim. I just want to take part. I mean, the thing is that when I go out the door, and I do a 3-mile walk, I've given permission to the people in my ladder to see what I'm doing. And they will see that I've done a 3-mile walk and they will cheer me. Now, the thing about any fitness regime is very simple. We start off, usually January 1st, with the best of intentions of actually staying fit and using the Fitbit to do it. And of course, our family actually join in and support us because they want us to be fit as well. In fact, they might get their own Fitbits. Come back to that later. But you've got your family around you to encourage you. You've got friends to encourage you to actually stay fit. And you could set up local walking groups. All sorts of things are possible. But the thing is that after a time, you tend to lose, well, impetus is a good word. You need somebody to give you a short, sharp, I'm not going to say the full thing because I want to stay on Amazon Live, but to help you. And that's where the Fitbit community comes in, because everybody supports everybody else. As I said earlier, everybody's got the same goal. They want to do steps. They want to stay fit. So let's go back to the dashboard again. So 2 challenges each week. You get to know the people in the ladders. They're from all around the world, so you can make friends as well. Okay, the next thing that's available, if you wear your Fitbit to bed, there's no reason why you shouldn't because it's very light, and you wear it for 4 consecutive nights, then you will get a report from Fitbit on your sleep pattern. It will tell you when you're in dream sleep, when you're in REM sleep, when you're in deep sleep, when you wake up, and we wake up a surprising number of times a night and go back to sleep. It will give you help in how to improve your sleep pattern. Okay, and this is tried and tested advice. The next thing, if I go here, just a minute, the next thing you can see is the 60,000. Now, hopefully you can still hear me, but I just need to stand up a minute because I don't get a chance to do this very often. Not stand up, do what I'm about to do now. In fact, I only do it when I talk about the Fitbit. And I don't talk about the Fitbit every time I go live. Okay. You see there that the maximum number of steps I've done a day is 60,000. And a quick bit of maths will tell you that 60,000 steps is 30 miles. So I've walked, I wouldn't run, but I've walked 30 miles in a day. We have, or had, a local marathon here, a walking marathon, from Avebury, which is Stone Circle, to Stonehenge, which you've probably heard of. And it's 26 miles, 385 yards. And if you complete the course, you get a medal. Okay, I'm going to wear this because I don't get a chance to wear it that often. And I've got several of the medals from Stonehenge. And the way that I got those is simply by wearing, I'm going to put it back on because I don't want to lose any steps, is simply by wearing my Fitbit. I wear the Fitbit. I try and do 8,000 steps a day. Some days it works, some days it doesn't. But overall, and I take part in the challenges. I take part in the weekend and the weekday challenges. And the reason for the 2 different challenges is that your walk pattern during the week is totally different from the one at the weekend where you can get out and about. You're not bound by the office or the factory. All you need to do is wear your Fitbit. And incredibly, and nobody was more surprised than me, I actually got this second medal, this beautiful medal with a blue ribbon, for actually doing a 10K. Now, this is all down to Fitbit. I don't use anything else to stay fit. I just use Fitbit. I live in Devizes, which is about 93 miles from London. And we have a canal. It's the Kennington Avon Canal. And that canal runs from Bristol to London. It was built to connect the River Avon in Bristol with the River Thames in London. I've got a comment coming in. Let's take the comment and say hello to Jim, Mr. James Ziegler. That's impressive. 30 miles and receive that medal. Indeed. Thank you, Jim. Very kind of you. Jim is a good friend over in Atlanta, Georgia, and also joined by, thank you, Jim, also joined by Barry Loxton, who is in Sarnia in Ontario. So thank you, both of you, for actually joining me today. And next comment coming in. Oh, we are getting busy today. This is good. I love the all right, okay. And that comment is coming on Amazon. You see, now, if you comment on Amazon, I can show you a name or initials and just the text. There's no picture involved. And that's it. Fitbit, Amazfit, the Amazon version Band 5, and cannot get it to stop the swim mode. Has the new 7 solved this problem? That's a good question. I'll take that under advisement for the moment, and I'll find out. Okay, I'll find out. Okay, because anybody who uses a Fitbit or an Amazon Fit is a friend. So I will find out for you. Okay, so excellent. So if you've got any questions, I will do my darndest to actually find out. I might not know the answer straight away, but I know people who do. So if you've got an AMAZ Fit, I don't know how to say it. How do you pronounce it? Can somebody type that in phonetically? No, you don't have to. I'll just guess it. Okay, so medals, walking and running medals, because I use a Fitbit. And I train on the canal. That's where I was. I train on the canal. The canal goes, as I said, from Bristol to London. You can actually walk from Bristol to London. The backstory to this is that cotton and other goods used to come from America by ship to Bristol, landed in Bristol docks, and then they were offloaded onto a barge, and the barge went on the canal to London. So all the goods from America came through Bristol and through Liverpool, but Bristol we're talking about, and they were actually taken to the warehouse in London, and the goods were distributed. And that was an amazing engineering feat, because it's 123 miles in total. But it's a great place to walk, because if you go walk on a canal, a waterway, it's flat. There is an exception, but generally speaking, it's flat. There's a slight gradient so that the water keeps flowing, but it's a great place to actually train. And once you're on a canal, you're out in the countryside, you're walking in the fresh air. It's basically so good. Okay, back from my story. Let's go back over here. Okay, so 60,000 steps is because I did the marathon between Avebury and Stonehenge and got slightly lost. Okay, because it's 26 miles, 30 miles. There's a difference. Obviously, we've got to wake up in the morning and whatever. After you've done a walking marathon, you don't move. You just lie on the sofa, asking for cups of tea. Right, now, everything I'm telling you about is free. If you have a Fitbit and you join Fitbit.com, then you can track your weight, as the scales in the next icon show. I'm just going along the top there. I've got a little bit to lose at the moment, so let's just go. And it says at the moment I've got 3 pounds to lose. Okay, I'm working on it. It's a work in progress. Yeah. So you can keep a weight diary, and you can track your weight either daily, weekly, or monthly, whenever you want to track your weight, and it will tell you which way it's going, whether it's going up or it's going down. In addition to that, we've said that the Fitbit actually tracks how many calories you burn. Well, you can keep a food diary on Fitbit.com. You can do that on your mobile phone, be it Android or iPhone. Download the app, and you can keep a food diary. It's got all the common foodstuffs registered, so it makes it simple and straightforward to keep a food diary. Now, if you keep a food diary, you're actually measuring the calories you intake. Fitbit is measuring the calories you use, and you can see the pattern of what you're actually doing. Okay, as you can see from the central orange and red graph, it does actually keep track of all this. All this information that I'm showing you is because of the Fitbit. Okay, you can see when you've been most active, and then this is the one I like underneath, and it's telling me this week I've done 40,000 steps. In other words, I've walked 20 miles this week. So the 2,000 steps I do every day are collated by the software, and then I can go over to Fitbit.com to my dashboard, and then I can see, okay, how many steps I've taken today, and it's telling me today I've walked 1.99 miles. I've burned 1,327 calories and walked 4,298 steps. So that's the day. Then let's take a look at the week, and the week is saying, I'll tell you that there's a story behind each of these. On the Sunday, we went for a walk at Stonehenge with Angelica's daughter Katie and Satish. On the Monday, we went on our own walk. We went on a picnic out in the local woods. And then on Tuesday was a special day. My son was visiting from Australia with his wife Karen. It's James and Karen. And we walked 7 miles on that day. And it was a great way to actually just walk and have a chat. But the thing that most interests me is here, and that is the yearly figures. And as you can see, I've done 799 miles in the last 12 months. And that I do have a personal target. Okay. My personal target is to do 1,000 miles a year. Angelica's doing that. Angelica would have done 1,000 miles in 9 months by the end of September. She's faster than I am. And we know it because I keep being told to come and catch up. Okay. But we both wear the Fitbit. That's how we stay fit. It's down in the carousel at the moment. It's on discount. It's 34% off. I can tell you why it's 34% off, because there is a new Fitbit on its way, which I'll be talking about next week when we get it. I put it on my wish list. It's the Inspire 3, because we're looking at the Inspire 2 at the moment. There's nothing wrong with the Inspire 2. Nothing at all. It's a beautiful piece of kit. You charge it, lasts 7 days. The major difference between 2 and 3 is that the 3 lasts 10 days. So better battery usage. But all in all, Fitbit is a great way to keep fit. Now, just a thing here, as I take the Fitbit off for a second time, but I'm not moving, so I'm not losing any steps by doing this. Remember, if you click the link in the carousel, you'll find different color bands. There are designer bands. Fitbit are owned by Google. Everything I've shown you is free. This is not a subscription model. You pay one price, you buy it, and then you can access Fitbit.com at no extra cost. Now, my final thought on the Fitbit, because it keeps me fit, I've got the medals to show that. Nobody expects a Fitbit as a gift. Nobody. You can give the gift of a potentially healthier life by giving somebody a Fitbit. True. Okay, because there's nothing easier for most of us. And I do accept that it's not easy for everybody. But if you can get out and walk, then a Fitbit is a great way to actually track your exercise and stay fit. And in the rest of 2022, I wish you all good health and stay fit. And if you're interested in a Fitbit, click link in the carousel and you've made a start on being healthy. It's not, you don't have to start on January 1st with the health kick. You can start anytime. September 1st is a good time because it's memorable. You saw it on Amazon Live when Stephen was there. And I'm just going to take this off here, and I'm taking the logo off because you know I'm broadcasting from Live. So I'm going to go without the logo. And then I'm going to go here and put this on. Okay, just a reminder, if you've just popped in to see me. Okay, your host is Stephen Healy, that's me. We're talking about live broadcasting and taking action. Okay, I'm going to take the medal off now because the medal is not really relevant to the rest of the broadcast. But Fitbit for the win is basically a motto I live by. Now we're going to look at a Logitech Brio camera, and we're going to look at a Samsung S22 mobile, amongst other things. If you want to cruise the carousel, then please do. If you're enjoying this broadcast, one thing you can do to help both of us is this. Okay, 3, 2, 1. You can actually follow me. Okay, now I'd never get your details. I will never be given your details by Amazon. Okay, Amazon, keep your details. But if you follow me and you're on Amazon at the moment, if you look at the following tab up above, it means you can catch my live shows, you can catch my recorded shows. And basically, you have the opportunity when you see somebody live and you enjoy what they're doing, don't just click the follow button, which is down below here. Click the follow button, and then you'll never lose them. They'll always be in the following tab. And you can actually build your own Amazon Live TV channel. My TV channel has got hundreds of people in it. I just enjoy watching Amazon Live, yeah, because it's real people talking about things they know about. Okay, they all know about the items in the carousel. Yeah, I've got many favorites. Oh, I'm going to make a poster with my favorites on. But if you are enjoying the broadcast, then please do follow. And now I'm going to go over to the comments and say hello to my good friend Roland, who's saying good afternoon. Good afternoon, Roland. Roland is in, like myself, is in Wiltshire, England. And yes, you missed it. Unfortunately, the medal ceremony happened ever since I moved to Wiltshire 10 years ago. Angelica did a marathon on her own, and then the following year we both did a half marathon, and then we did marathons yearly after that. And the route, notice how I did that, Roland, the route is from Avebury to Stonehenge, 26 miles, 385 yards. And it's a brilliant course because you're out in the wilds, you've got marshals, you've got water, everything's taken care of. All you have to do is walk the steps. But the route went over Salisbury Plain. Now, Salisbury Plain is where the British Army actually do live fire practice with things like tanks and guns and explosives. But for that one day, they stopped firing and allowed us to walk over Salisbury Plain. Now, the whole thing's overseen by our Ministry of Defence Secretary, and they said, we're very sorry about this, but you can't walk on Salisbury Plain anymore. You can't have your day. So it's the MOD, you don't argue with the army. The MOD said you can't do it anymore. So it was accepted that we couldn't do that walk anymore, which is a shame because it was a most enjoyable day. You feel you've achieved something when you get the medal. So it's no more. I'm looking for a new walk, but hopefully one day I'll find one. Out to Jim. And Jim is saying, I think you should wear the medal all the time. Well, yeah, that's a thought. That's a thought, Jim. Thank you. And over to Roland. Say tomatoes. No, he's trying to play the UK American card. Now, I'm going to say router. I'm going to say tomatoes because I'm broadcasting to Amazon Live. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I might say some things which don't mean anything across the pond, but most of the time I do try to fit in. It's like that, in the language, really. You might have finished faster if they were firing. Yeah, this is true. I mean, you walk there. There's a place called Imber, which is a village that was evacuated in 1944. Basically, the army, the Canadians and the American armies came over to the UK. This is going back a bit. This is even before my time. The Canadians and US Army came over and they were going to train with the British Army on Salisbury Plain. And they needed a village to train in because you want to practice house to house. So they said to the villagers who were farmers living in the middle of nowhere, you have to leave because we're going to take it over. You can have it back after the war. That's finished. So the farmers and their relatives were actually sent from Imber in 1944. And then they never went back. So today, this is, by the way, if you're visiting the UK, put this on your bucket list. Today, you can actually visit the village 4 days a year and experience what life was like in the 1940s. Yeah. It's just, in one way, it is sad. But I would say that most people won't. Yeah, okay. And the question from Jim: does Salisbury Plain have a live unexploded munitions? Perhaps yes, it does. If you there's a road that goes over the plain, which is a public road. It's a public road. On the 4 days of the year, you can actually drive across it. Other than that, it's a private road for the army. But the thing is, because it's a live fire range, they say, okay, along the roadside, you've got big red warning signs, which say, do not leave the road. Don't go for a walk. Well, they don't say that, but what they mean is don't get out of your car, carry on driving. And when you actually get to Imber, which is a village that disappeared, then you can walk on the roads, but you cannot walk on the verges. You cannot visit any of the buildings. They're all off limits. And that's because of UXBs, unexploded bombs, and anything that's to do with shooting. So it is a place to visit, Jim. If you check out Imber, IMBER, then you can pop over here again and take a look around. So thank you for the questions. And that's the Fitbit. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put the Fitbit on one side. Okay, I'll put my medals back later. But we're going to go back in the carousel. And I'm now going to go over to... Okay, let's go back to the beginning. So we've done the action part, lights, camera, action. Action is the Fitbit. And we're now going to go with something else that's on discount. Okay. So you're watching Stephen live from Wiltshire in England, and we're going to get to the camera part of this. Lights, camera, action. We're talking about cameras. I will show you in a moment the first ever webcam I got, but the webcam I'm using now and you're watching is the Logitech Brio. I'm just going to go, I write everything down so I don't forget anything. Logitech Brio 4K webcam, which is down the carousel, and it's down in the carousel today, and it is, just a minute, I need a secret weapon here. It's 10% off today. It's 100. Sorry about that. The text is so small, and I can't make it any bigger. It's down the carousel. It's a Logitech Brio, and it's 134.49 today. 10% off. So if you click the link in the carousel, right? I got this camera. For main reason for getting this camera is it is ultra 4K high definition video. Now I can't show you it. I can show you. This is a representation of what the camera does, okay, because this is only in 720 to be mobile friendly, because the higher the resolution, 720, 1080, 4K, the higher the resolution, the clearer the picture, the more you can see, but there is a cost, and the higher the resolution, the more data is transmitted. And if you're on a mobile phone and you're on a data plan, then if I was at 1080, I would be costing you money. If I was broadcasting in 4K, I would be costing you a lot of money, many cents. But Ultra 4K is where everything's headed. This is the future. This is the time now to get involved, to find out what it's all about, the best way to use it. Because we're all going to go 4K. Down the road, 2 roads over from us, they're actually installing gigabit cable. 1 gig up, 1 gig down. We've waited long enough, and it's going to arrive soon. And then once we've all got 1 gigabit up and down, then we can have 4K broadcasting. Now we can't do it with, we can. We can't do it with a webcam. We can't broadcast in 4K with a webcam in a browser. Yeah, it doesn't work in a browser because there's nothing there to do it yet. I've spoken to the people at BeLive. Remember, BeLive is what I'm broadcasting on, and they said technically there's no problem. So all we need is for the internet infrastructure throughout the world, America and Europe probably first with Australia and Canada, to improve. Once the internet infrastructure improves, then we'll be able to broadcast in 4K. Now, if you want to broadcast in 4K right now, if you take the Brio out of the box and you plug it into your PC or Mac, it will be recognized straight away because millions have been sold. Millions have been sold. But if you then go and you get OBS, Open Broadcasting Software, which is free, you set yourself, I can see the comments in the corner of my eye, I'll be with them in a minute. You set OBS up, you add your camera, which is obviously the Brio, you set your destination to YouTube, yeah, and you change the resolution to 4K. You're ready. Okay, OBS, add your camera, go to YouTube, 4K. And it's when you actually watch it on YouTube afterwards, the difference is stunning. It really is stunning. It's night and day. The actual quality of a 4K broadcast over and above a 720 or 1080 broadcast, you can see it, you can appreciate it. Okay, it's high quality broadcasting. Now, I have to say that if you're going to do this, then you might need a Ninja PC or Mac, but it's just basically being ahead of the game. 4K is coming to us. It's got to do. It's a question of when, not if. And if you get in the game now, you're ahead of everybody. Okay. Now, let's take a few comments before I go over here. So let's go over to Jim. Does Salisbury play now? So we've done that one. And the next comment is, it would be nice to get, yeah, it would be nice to see you, Jim. We could actually meet at last because we missed each other last time. That would be good. And South Korea will always be first. Okay. Yeah, asking me to do two things at once, to think whilst I'm live, Roland, that's not fair. Okay. South Korea will always be first. Well, in that case, you'd be interested to know two things. I'm working with a video company in North Korea, no, in Vietnam, and Alexa, I'm going to ask Alexa a question. Alexa, who are Logitech?
According to Wikipedia, Logitech International SA is a Swiss-American multinational manufacturer of computer peripherals and software, with headquarters in Lausanne, Switzerland, and Newark, California.
Alexa, stop.
The company has...
No. So the headquarters of Logitech, a Swiss-American company, are in Newark, in California. If I've mispronounced that, let me know. Let's go back to comments. And on the speed of tech, yes, I agree. Right. Okay. Thank you for explaining. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Okay. Right. Caught up now. Right. So we know it's Ultra 4K HD. We know you can use it on YouTube now. Now, Roland will agree with me on this. In recent weeks in the UK, it has been hot. Now, we don't do heat. That you basically it's been between 70 Fahrenheit and 95. And when it got to 95, we were all told to stay indoors, which was wise advice. But we in the UK don't have air conditioning. Only about 5% of properties in the UK have aircon. 5%. Yeah. Which means that when it's hot, the only thing you can do to relieve the pressure is to open your window. Now, if you open your window and your neighbor opens their window, you can hear everything that's going on, especially if your neighbor happens to be fitting a new bathroom himself. In which case, every time he cuts a piece of wood, every time he drills, you get the racket, the noise. And I can hear it, and I can't do anything about it. Yeah, but because I've got a noise cancelling microphone, I was able to go live the whole time that the bathroom was being worked on, and nobody heard a thing. Noise cancelling. The only thing that's heard is your voice, and that's brilliant. Because when we broadcast live, there are interruptions. There are bound to be. We don't operate in isolation, so there are going to be noises off, and this simply cuts out those noises. They never make it to the broadcast. If you're on a Zoom call and your dog starts barking, then everybody in the Zoom call can hear your dog, unless you have a noise cancelling microphone. So it is important when you look at cameras to check out whether they've got a noise cancelling microphone or not. It's got HD light auto correction. Now, if I've got a light on, it's a Logitech Litra Glow light, and it's down in the carousel, of course. And I switch the light off. You can still see me because the camera is doing high definition light auto correction. It's making sure that I can still be seen. I'd much rather, though, he said, go here and switch the light back on. Okay. It's only one light. It's the Logitech Litra Glow, which is down the carousel, and it's a good price today. Now, we're going to have the first appearance of the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, which is this. This is the flagship Samsung smartphone for 2022. It's down in the carousel, but that's not why I picked it up. I picked it up because this is the easiest way I can actually show you a field of view. It's got a 90-degree field of view. Yeah, I did this by accident. So it's 90 degrees, and then the field of view is an arc from those 90 degrees, and it can either be 65 degrees, 78 degrees, or 90. That's how wide it can see. Yeah, the narrower, the less it can see, more focused in it is. We'll see that in a moment. The next thing about it is, and this is Logitech helping me, it is 4 times the definition of a typical webcam. Most webcams are 1080p and 720p. The auto light correction we used a moment ago is actually called Right Light. It's proprietary to Logitech. Okay, and as I just said a moment ago, it's 3 fields of view, 90, 78, or 65. I'm going to show you. I'm now going to show you the software that controls any Logitech camera, C920, 922, 925, 930, Brio, C270, one piece of software. That piece of software is called, wait for it, Logitech Capture. Now, when you buy a camera, any camera, there's going to be software. I'm going to rant for a minute. Okay. When you buy a piece of hardware, a camera, a microphone, a light, anything that's electrical, you can get software to control it, and you don't pay a cent extra. It's free. The software I'm about to show you is free and works for every Logitech camera apart from the Mevo. And that's because it is the Logitech Mevo, but it used to be the Mevo, and they wrote their own software. Okay, that may change, but for the moment, Logitech Capture, go to logitech.com, download Logitech Capture, just search for it, and this is what you get. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share screen. Let's go over here and go here. No, I've taken a wrong turn. Just talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Okay, now I'm going to bring it on screen. Okay, so I'm going to put it full screen. This is Logitech Capture, and this is the software. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go side by side. Remember, you can control any Logitech camera apart from the Mevo with this free software. At the moment, the software is controlling my Brio 4K Stream Edition. Okay, and I'm going to go side by side. Okay, just a minute. I need to hide something. I need to hide that. We talked about the Fitbit earlier. I'm going to go side by side. I wonder what that was from. I thought, what's that graph? Why is that graph there? Okay, I just want to change something now. Just bear with me a moment. What I want to give you is a wide view. Okay, so I've gone wide. Now, if we look at this, I will be wide again in a minute, but if we look at the software, basically using the software, you can go down, you can go up, you can go left, and you can go right. So those 4 controls, you can use them to actually position yourself on camera. And what you're actually trying to do, is get yourself in the center of the camera. Okay, you want to be in the center of the camera and you want to have headroom. Even on a Zoom call, the number of people who, well, I'm not saying anything. You need to be in the center of the screen, sitting up with headroom. Okay, now you may think that I'm sat in front of a brick wall. That's true, but not strictly accurate. The keen-eyed amongst you will have noticed that there is a crease in my brick wall. It is a brick wall, but it's not a brick wall. Now, what I'm going to do using the software, and I can only do this with the software, is I'm going to zoom out once, twice, and go to 90 degrees, which is there. Welcome to my office. This is what I actually look like. Okay, you've got the Samsung all-in-one PC over there, which I wish they still made. You've got my bookshelf, including my German language books there, and you've got everything there, okay, including the chess set. Chess set is down in the carousel. It's a beautiful chess set. And if you are watching and you want to play chess, then my move is D2 to D4, your move, and you can type the answer on Amazon or on Facebook or on YouTube, or today you can type your answer on Twitch. Just a note, if you do broadcast and you've not heard, Twitch used to say that if you're going to do a live broadcast, you can only broadcast on our site. You can't broadcast anywhere else. If you're going to go live on Twitch, you can't go live anywhere else. Yesterday, the announcement was made that you can go live on Twitch and go live wherever you want. That's why I'm going live on Twitch today. But my main focus, obviously, is Amazon Live. Now, what you're looking at now is the camera's default settings. If I had not downloaded the software, I would look like this. And many people do, and there's nothing wrong with it. But for my presentation, my decision, I wanted control. I wanted control of the camera with the software. So I can, by clicking 3 buttons, do this: 1, 2, and 3. And I'm back to where I want to be. It looks as though, at first glance, if you were just walking past, you think, oh, Stephen's sat in front of a brick wall. I am. But as we all know now, this is basically my set, and it's a subset of the whole office. So getting Logitech Capture software allows you to get away from the camera's default settings. Yeah. Because the default settings, if I go here, just to camera's default settings, I pressed the wrong button, just give me a second. This is without the software. This is with the software. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So do download the software, go to logitech.com, look for Logitech Capture. Right, just to finish off the Brio, it's got versatile mounting options. Now, if I go here, my Brio is actually on top of a monitor, but you could put your Brio on top of a tripod, okay? And basically, then you're free to put it at eye level. You're free to move it wherever you want. So you can mount it because it's got a thread in the bottom. That's how you actually attach it to the tripod. And then you can either go tripod or the top of your monitor or the top of your Mac or PC. The camera itself is 4K, 1080p and 720p, and was released on February 7th, 2017. So it's recent technology. And we've looked at Logitech Capture, right, and the camera's default settings. Right, whilst we're here, okay, whilst we're here, it seems an appropriate occasion. When you're on a Zoom call and you're just on camera, everything in your room, whether you be at home or in the office, is visible. Yeah. And it can be distracting, not just to you, but to anybody watching you. Yeah. And you've got to tidy up. If you don't tidy up, people are going to see everything. Well, I know we're all tidy most of the time, but there's going to be an occasion when you catch yourself out. If you get a backdrop stand and a backdrop, you can actually partition the room easily, and you can do it for just over $50. I'm going to show you how. Okay, because if I go over here in the carousel, I'm just going to highlight it now if I can find it. I'm just going to zoom out again. If I go here, and I'm going to go to 90 degrees, you can see a photography backdrop behind me, which I'll come to in a moment. But the photography backdrop is hung over the top of a tea stand. Now, my office is not the biggest in the world, and I couldn't have got a stand in with two legs 6 foot apart. Just wouldn't work because the tripod legs at the bottom. So I wanted a central pole to actually hold a crossbar, just one leg. And that's what this is behind me. It's down in the carousel now. And it is basically, it is the eMart T-shape stand, T-shape, okay? And it's $39.55, which is a discount. It's on discount today, okay? So if you click the link, you'll find out more about it. But essentially, it's so simple to assemble. It's not that big when it arrives. It's in bits. You just put it together. The T-bit, and then, yeah, it's just so easy to do. And that's the first thing. So $39 gets you the stand. Then you want a photography backdrop. Now the backdrops, and this is where we win. We win because I'm just going to try and find a backdrop for you. So that is the eMart T-shaped stand. And then you need a backdrop. And I'm just scrolling along. Hopefully in a second, I will actually find the backdrop I'm looking for. If you see it in the carousel before I do, right? So, okay, you've got the T-bar. Yeah. You then want a photography backdrop. Now, if you go to Amazon and you search for photography backdrop, we are so fortunate as live broadcasters because the photographers have got there before us, and there are thousands of different backdrops you can buy, and they're all similarly priced. The one at $14.99 in the carousel. So this is not an expensive way to hide your background. This is a cost-effective way. $39 for the stand, $15 for the backdrop, and you can have as many backdrops as you want. I've seen one of a Wild West town with tumbleweed blowing in the streets. I've got one of a Hawaiian beach. I'm looking forward to actually presenting from the beach. And all I need to do is, well, it's a two-step process. This is my next backdrop, which, well, it needs ironing. It needs ironing. Okay, all you need to do is iron it, to iron out the creases. So I'm told. So I'm going to have a go at that this weekend. But you can be anywhere in the world with a backdrop, and you're hiding everything behind you, because now when I zoom in, yeah, if I zoom in twice, once, twice, and go to 78 degrees, it's pretty good, I think. At least the bricks are level. Yeah, that's because of the stand. So there you are. If you want to up your game on a Zoom call, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or Twitch, get a stand and a photography backdrop. And the T-stand works in the small spaces. Yeah. And you can change it anytime you like. The one I just showed you there, which is a hot mess, I will show you again next week when it's actually hung as a background. I just need to iron it first. What you do actually, this is a tip from YouTube, when they're shipped to you, obviously they've got creases in, okay? You put the pattern side down on the ironing board. You take the iron on a low heat. That's the bit I've got to remember. On a low heat, and you just steam the backdrop, and the creases just magically drop out. If you've got a steam gun, all the better. Yeah, but the creases drop out, and then you just hang it. Okay, and you can then have as many backgrounds as you want. Okay, now we started off there talking about, I'm just a minute, where am I? We started off there. Thank you for watching me live on Amazon. Appreciate it. And just a reminder, if you are enjoying the broadcast, then please do follow. It means a lot. I really appreciate it. If you take the opportunity to actually follow it. I don't get your details. Amazon keep them. They just let you know when I'm going live next, possibly, and you'll never lose me because I'll always be in the following tab at the top. Okay, that's the good reason. It's a win for me because the more followers I have, I sort of go up in Amazon's eyes. So if you can, and remember, oh, brilliant. And I want to say a big thank you. Now, I don't do music, but if I did, I would play a symphony for Miras Omarov. And thank you for following. Absolutely brilliant. As I say, it's a win-win situation. You know where I am. I'm on your following tab. From my point of view, I really appreciate it. Okay. So where are we going to go from here? The most fun, we're staying with cameras. And the next camera we're going to go to, I'm going to go back in the carousel over here. So let me just whiz back quickly. Okay. The next camera is the Obberspot Tiny. Now, the Obberspot Tiny, which is here, that's not it. The Obberspot Tiny, which is here, okay, this is what the Obberspot Tiny does. First of all, the Obberspot Tiny 4K has 3 presets. Okay, that's the first difference between this and the Brio. This has 3 presets, and basically, I just want to shrink that just a minute. That's better. That's 3 presets, which means that I can go from my desktop to the garden just by clicking one button. Now, this is a live feed of my neighbor's gardens. I can't get the angle to get my garden, but this is where I live, and it is a live feed. So you may see butterflies, you may see birds, but this is a live feed from the Obberspot 4K, and this is one of 3 presets. So at the click of a button, I can go from the garden to the desktop. Okay, and this is everything is here is in the carousel. You've got the Logitech C920X, you've got the Anchor 4-way USB hub, which is allowing me to have 2 cameras and 2 microphones. You've got the Echo Dot. Angelica's got the 4. This is the 3. I'm broadcasting to you at this minute on the TP-Link Deco Wi-Fi. I am not wired. I'm on Wi-Fi. You've got the Aftershocks headphones. You've got the TrebLab AT77, and you have this beautiful, magnificent stand from Lamicor. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my phone on the stand. Just a minute. I just need to click on the phone in the right place and just go there. Just give me a second. I'll be back to you in a second. Okay, so that's me on Facebook, by the way. If you go search for Stephen Healy and you make a contact request, then, but not now. Now we're on Amazon Live. Okay. And my phone's saying lots of things. Let's go over. Wait a minute. Okay, I might have missed a comment from Roland. Steam it through a cloth as a safety measure. That's about the ironing the backdrop. Thank you for the hint, Roland. I'll certainly do that. Thank you. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, so that's the first 2 presets, and then the third preset, as you would expect, is me. Okay, so I can go from me, I can go to the desktop, I can go into the garden and show you a live feed from my garden with birds and butterflies. That's the first difference. And the thing is, if we go here, just forgive me for a moment, indulge me. This is an Obberspot Tiny. You have the lens at the top, the camera, the lens body at the top. You have a 2-axis gimbal underneath, Then you've got the base. It's a USB-C cable plugged in direct to your computer. And I've got mine, this one of mine, I've got two hotspots. This one is on a tripod. Okay, and that's basically because there's a thread on the bottom of the webcam, and you just screw into that. So that's what it looks like. One of the things I love about the hotspot, everybody talks about privacy, but if you just watch this, just watch that bit there. Okay, I'm going to, hopefully this will work. This is a live demonstration. Just watch the bit at the top. Okay, when you want the hotspot to turn off, it will go to sleep. And the lens turns into the camera body. There's no way that camera can be watching you. You've got complete privacy. Do you want to say that again? I do. I think it's fun. Right, so it's changed again, and then just resume, and it comes back. Okay, just a note, I just want to go here and just show you something again. I'm going to go over to the garden. Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to go over to the, just a minute, wrong camera. I'm going to go to the garden. The Ultra has not only 4K, it's got 4x zoom. And you can see we're actually looking through the window. And I did clean it the other day. I was good. And out into the garden. Okay, so 4x zoom. Okay, so let's have a look at a few of the features, and then I'm going to give you a demonstration of the hotspot at work, and it can do things that other cameras just can't do. So let's go here, and just a little bit of info, not too much, but just enough info to actually pique your interest. Formal title, hotspot tiny, PTZ, 4K webcam, pan, tilt, and zoom, PTZ. It has AI-powered framing and gestures, so it will always try to get you in the center of the screen with headroom. Yeah? It is a 4K video conference camera, and I'm going to explain that in a moment. It's got dual omnidirectional microphones, and it's got auto tracking with a 2-axis gimbal. It's got low light correction. If I switch the light off, yeah, then basically you can still see me because it's correcting. And I'm going to switch the light back on because it's in the carousel. It's a Logitech Litra glow light down the carousel. It's got magical gesture control. You can ask it to start tracking you. You can ask it to stop tracking you. You can zoom in or you can zoom out. You just need to be in the camera's field of view. It's got dual omnidirectional microphone system with noise reduction. This is not noise cancellation, this is noise reduction. I'll explain why in a moment. It's got the 3 preset positions and it's got AI tracking. Okay, right. Now, it's at this point that I'm going to show you. I've got a warning before. This may or may not work. Okay, it should work, but it might not work. But I'm going to give it a go anyway. And let's just take a few comments before I get involved. So Roland's last comment was steam it through a cloth, which we will. And we say hello to Mohammed Ashikur. Come shop some of my favorite things. Okay, let's have a look at the next comment. Nice products. Thank you. And Stephen, thank you very much. It actually made it into the broadcast. Thank you, Mohammed. Right. This may or may not work. What do you say? This. What I'm going to do is I'm going to press a button and then I'm going to move backwards. You'll see me move backwards. Yeah. I know this is going to work now. Okay. Now, I'm sat down. The camera is focused on me. I'm trying to look at the camera and all is well. But this is where the AI tracking comes into being. If I stand up, then what happens is that the camera is following me. And as I move about, the camera moves with me. Yeah. This is the amazing thing for the price, $269. This is a full PTZ camera, and it will follow me as I move around. You can get a closer look at the wall now. You can see the T-bar across the top. You can see the clamps that actually hold the backdrop in place. But the thing is that I can now present stood up. So rather than sitting down, I can stand up, and that means that I can get hold of this, which is the TrebLab HD77 speaker. I could tell you about it. Okay, I've got another comment coming in, just a moment. Okay, I could tell you about Anchor and the products that Anchor do. All right, thank you very much. Okay, just a moment. You can see that the camera is actually following me as I move around. Anchor. That's the 4-way USB that's down in the carousel, which allows me to have 2 cameras and 2 microphones. That's absolutely brilliant product. Right, so now what I'm going to show you now is the OBSBot difference. Okay, and this is the part of the show which this will work. What I'm going to do is go here, okay, and go to the desktop. Remember, we've got 3 views. I can switch to the 3rd view whilst I'm sitting down. Okay, and what I'm going to do is come back to me, and I'm going to go off full screen. And now you've got 2 of me. Now, the way I'm doing this is I've got 2 cameras and 1 microphone, and my problem is looking at both cameras, but this is the OBSBot difference. On the left, you have the Logitech Brio. On the right, you have the OBSBot 4K. Both 4K cameras. Logitech Brio has been my favorite camera forever, since I got it. OBSBot is the most fun I've had with camera. It's the most versatile camera I've ever had, and it lends itself to so many things. The difference is this between the 2 cameras, and I wish I could actually. Could I ask a favor of you? This is a very difficult operation, and I need my concentration. If you could just hold on the comments for a few minutes while I do this, because otherwise, okay. And no, it's not. Brio is a brilliant camera, and that's from Myris. Thank you for the follow, and it's not a bad camera. Okay. I mean, the thing is that it's all in the eye of the beholder, and if I think it's a good camera, you think it's a bad camera, then we've both got our reasons. I know that I've had the camera for 2 years with no problems at all. Right. Okay, now, if I do this, hopefully this will work. This is the difference. If I go here, yeah. If I move about, then both cameras can track me. Okay, but if I do this, and hopefully this will work. Okay, if I go backwards and I press this button here, then when I stand up, just a minute, I do need my concentration now, otherwise we're going to lose it. Okay, when I stand up, which is what I'm going to do now, then what happens is this. As you can see, the Brio the Brio doesn't know where I am. It knows I've got an arm. It knows it. Yeah, it's lost me. The OBSBot, however, is keeping me center of the picture, in focus, with headroom. It's doing that automatically. I don't need to do anything other than move around. The camera is doing all the work. And basically, this is the difference between the 2 cameras. The OBSBot has got AI tracking, it's got a 2-axis gimbal, and it allows it to actually move when you move and to track you. Now, before we move on, our next item is the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, by the way. Before we move on, there is one feature of, just a minute. Okay. There is one feature that basically is an HubSpot feature. Okay. And that is that, okay, I'm trying not to read the comments. I'm trying to concentrate on what I'm doing. Okay, the only thing is that in my studio, some of the comments come on automatically, and there's nothing I can do about it. Well, I can actually switch it off. I might switch it off when I sit down. Anyway, on point. Imagine that you are sitting around a conference table with 4 or 5 other people, and you're going to have a Zoom call, and it's going to go out to Facebook and YouTube. Yeah, that's the situation. You're going to go out to Facebook and YouTube on a Zoom call. How many cameras do you need to capture all 5 people individually? Do you need 5 cameras or do you need 1? Well, that's a trick question. You only need the HubSpot 4K, because somebody can download the software and control the camera and go from speaker 1 to speaker 2 to speaker 3 and back again. Whoever's speaking is focused on camera. In addition to that, the unit itself is in the center of the conference table with omnidirectional microphones, which means it's going to pick up all 4 or 5 voices automatically. So if you're having Zoom conferences where you've got to transmit a conference table with 5 people sat around it, HubSpot 4K camera can do it. In fact, it can do most things that other cameras could not. Let's take a look out to the garden. Okay. I just need to let's come back to me. So that is the HubSpot 4K. And back to me. And I'm going to go here. And I want to say thank you for all the comments. It's sometimes difficult to concentrate when the comments come in, but I'll take it. And I just want to make one alteration. Just a minute. Right. I've turned off the feature that puts comments on automatically. Okay. So I now have to verify every comment. I think that's the safest thing to do. Forgive me for doing that, but I feel that it's quite helpful not to show the comments automatically. Okay, so you're looking at Logitech Braille. We've compared it with the HubSpot 4K, and now what we're going to go on to, if I hide that, okay, what we're going to go on to now is this, and I'm going to put it down in the carousel as the featured item, and this is, wait for it, hang on, just give me a second, I'll get there. This is the Samsung S22 smartphone, otherwise known as, just let me change something. Just give me a second. I just want to change something in my studio. We're talking about a Samsung Galaxy Ultra smartphone, and it is very smart. I've got to tell you, it's the smartest smartphone I've ever had. It's down the carousel at the moment. It is $999.99, which is a good price point because today it is 17% off. So you can save $200 if you click the link in the carousel. You find out more information. You're not buying until you, because you go into the normal Amazon.com page, you're not buying until you press buy. You're just finding out more information. So if you click the link, you get more information. You get all the tech specs. I'm going to give you an overview and my opinion. If you want all the specs, then just click the link in the carousel. Now, the phone itself, there are various models available, but this is the top of the range. This is the flagship Samsung phone for 2022, released in February this year. You can either have 256 gig of memory or 512. My friend Guy's got 512. It has an 8K camera and video. So it takes 8K images and it has 8K video. I'm going to show you a video in a minute or two. Because I could tell you this is the best phone in the world, but I'm going to show you why it's the best phone in the world. I'm actually going to play you a video and show you some photos. It's got the brightest display that Samsung ever had. When I was out in the sun earlier, I could use this phone and I could, just a minute, I could scroll. Yeah, I can scroll. Okay. And if I go here, it's the best phone in the world, and turn that down, and I just want to click something there. And this is the quality of the display. Go over here. Just give me a second. Right. This is the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra being used. This is me live on Facebook. I'm broadcasting to Amazon. I'm broadcasting to Twitch. I'm broadcasting to YouTube and Facebook. This is the live Facebook feed, and you can see the quality of the broadcast. Now, everything runs about 20 seconds behind the live. That's why you've got the disparity between what you're hearing and what you're seeing. Yeah. But this is the quality of display. Now, when I was scrolling earlier, I could read everything on the phone, which is a first for me, because my old phone, if the sun shone brightly, it went. Do you remember the Samsung Galaxy? Not the Galaxy. Brain fade. Okay. Do you remember the S Pen? Okay. The S Pen is back. Okay. And with the S Pen, just let me go here. I can type in or write in. It actually emulates the sound of writing. I can actually go, hello, Amazon. Might work at some point. But the thing about writing with the S Pen, there are about 7 different apps on the phone that you can use. But if you're in a meeting and it's a phones off meeting, then even with the phone off, you can take a note and save it for when you can put your phone back on. So that's the first feature, which is helpful. The second thing is with the S Pen, it has air gestures. So if you set yourself up to take a photograph, and then you can use an air gesture to actually click the shutter. It's got a long battery life. If you recharge it, then it will last 24 to 30 hours easily. It's got 8K super steady video. It has a built-in stabilizer, which means you've got steady video. And in addition to that, if you go from 8K down to 1080, you've got super steady video. It can do nightography, which is taking photographs at night. Now I'm going to show you some examples of photographs taken with this. Okay. The camera lenses on the back. Okay, you've got 108 megapixel. That's amazing resolution. You've got 3 times zoom, 10 times zoom, and you've got the nightography lens. We've talked about the fact it's got an adaptive color contrast, so it will change according to the lighting circumstances. And just to reiterate, it has a long-lasting battery plus fast charging. There's a charger down in the carousel, which is next to the phone. It has an embedded S Pen. And the reason for mentioning this again is that if I take the phone out of the room and leave the S Pen behind, I get a message on the phone saying, Stephen, have you left your S Pen behind? And I might just do that from time to time. Well, I've seen the message, haven't I? Okay. Now, the phone is unlocked by Samsung, so you can go to your favorite carrier. It is dual SIM, so you can have 2 phone numbers, 2 sets of text messages, and 2 sets of phone calls. As far as dimensions are concerned, it is 6.8 inches. It's got a WQHD Edge screen, best display Samsung ever done, and 120 Hertz adaptive refresh rate. Charging wise, it's got 5,000 milliamp charging, 45 watts, or if you go to 15 watts, it will take longer, but it will still wirelessly charge. The rear camera is 108 megapixels. The front camera is 40 megapixels. The phone was released on February 9th, 2022. It is the flagship Samsung phone. And what I'm going to now is I'm going to put the phone down and I'm going to go over here. Just a minute. Now, as I say, I can actually talk about this phone forever because it's the best phone I've ever had. But I'm going to play you a video which was taken with the phone, and I'm going to tell you that this is, okay, just let me take this off. We don't need the release date anymore. We're going to visit the Quartz Garden in Wiltshire. Now, I need to tell you that this was an industrial estate, factories. It was then taken over, or the factory closed down. It was taken over and made into a garden. It's now looked after by, well, it's looked after by the country. So this video uses the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. I'm going to be quiet for 2 minutes and I'll be. Enjoy the video. We're at the Quartz Garden and just had lunch. And the thing about the Quartz Garden is it's a beautiful place to actually stroll around and just enjoy the gardens. So I'm just going to walk around, and I am using my Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra and my new DJI OM5 gimbal. I've got the internal microphone on the Samsung, so no external mic. I'll try an external mic next time, but it's just so beautiful today. It's about 28 degrees, and I'm just going to try something here, because if I do this, I should be able to change the view. Okay, that's not what I wanted. I'm going to come down again. It's actually stuck, isn't it? Wait a minute. Let's adjust this. This is just a trial. Okay, so I'm going to go like that, or like that, or like that. I've got to be able to see what's on the screen, so I can see what's on the screen. And just wondering how steady this is. This is better than actually holding the phone. It's a lot easier to actually grip the gimbal than it is to actually grip the phone, so this is a win. But there's so many things this gimbal can do, and I really haven't learnt half of them, or even a quarter of them. But let's look at the borders. And there are people here today. Car park was full, but I don't think everybody actually came over here. But there's just flowers here in full bloom. We are at the beginning of August, first week in August. And the grounds here are just absolutely stunning. Now, the other thing that's important this year is that I've got my new eyes, which means that this year I can actually see clearly where I'm going. That's the entrance over there, where you come in, and then you led into the gardens. There's a cafe just round the corner, and everywhere there are places to actually sit down. Angelica sat down at the moment while I'm taking this video. If you had two sounds on there, my apologies for that. I forgot to switch my microphone off, but I was quiet. All right, so we actually got there in the end, and I'm back. Okay, so thank you for sitting through that. And if you're not watching with the sound off, you won't have heard a thing wrong. If you're watching with the sound, I just want to thank you for actually sitting there and listening to, well, echo. Right, okay, so this is, if I just go here just a minute. You're watching with the sound. Right. This is the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. That is the live video feed at the moment. The quality of the display is brilliant. The video I just showed you is just high quality video. It's the best video I've ever shot. It's the best camera I've ever had. It's the best mobile phone I've ever had. And it's down in the carousel today. It's $200 off. Now, that's the, basically, if I put this up on screen, okay. The other thing, the other feature, all right, I'm going to say this because I think I should. I'm going to hide switch that camera off and come to me, and we're going to go picture in picture. Okay, that's good. And we're still working, you can still hear me. All good. Okay. Oh, I could actually hold this up and you can actually read the captions, closed captions. That would be good. Just a minute. See, on Facebook, we've got closed captions. Okay, sorry about that. Just a point. Sorry, I'm going to cut that out later and actually show it to somebody. So these photographs are taken with the mobile phone. Okay, and this was in July. I just got the phone, and the first image is of flamingos. This is Birdland, which is in the Cotswolds in England, and Birdland is a zoo or fowl sanctuary in actual fact. And I actually got closer to the flamingos by zooming in, and I'm not the world's best photographer, it has to be said, but I actually got this shot. And the next one, there were penguins there as well, so we actually saw the penguins. And this is my partner Angelica, and beautiful photograph, and you've got the flamingos in the background. And then this is our garden. We've got a wild garden, and it's just a beautiful place to sit out. And then it went further into bloom. And then the final photograph I'm going to show you is this one, which is the Crammer, which is a man-made pond, which is 5 minutes from where I live. Behind the tree on the left-hand side is St. James's Church, which is our church. And we get Canadian geese, we get ducks, we get swans, we get pigeons, we get all sorts of birds actually visiting, and it's just a great place to actually sit down. Okay, so we've looked at a video from this wonderful phone, okay, and we've looked at me now on the phone. It is quite simply the best phone we've ever had. So we said it was released February 2022. The video was using the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, and it's been my pleasure to actually tell you about this wonderful phone, best I've ever had. It's down in the carousel. Click the link if you get a $200 discount if you click the link today. Now, about discounts, whilst I'm live, Amazon and the manufacturers actually give special discounts to live broadcasters. So by watching me live, you can win because you can get extra discount on items. Click the link and you get the discount. Simple as that. Okay, just a reminder, if you're watching me live now, I'd like to say, here we go here. Your host is Stephen from England. That's me. We're talking about live broadcasting. If you've got any questions about live broadcasting, like the ones that Mohammed had, then please do. And we've seen Mohammed, we've seen Roland, and in addition to, okay, and we've had Barry, and we've had Jim Ziegler from Atlanta, Georgia, and we've had also AM, who had a question about the AMZ Fit. Amazfit? I don't know. Okay, we've looked at the Logitech Brio and the Samsung S22 Mobile. I want to say a big thank you for watching, and you can ask me any questions you like about live broadcasting. Okay. It's always a pleasure to actually broadcast on Amazon Live. I'm one of six Brits on Amazon Live. I do enjoy being here. I feel privileged to actually broadcast live. I enjoy your company. I want to say a big thank you for joining me live today. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. I'm live again 11 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. This has been Stephen in Wiltshire, England. And I'd say a big thank you for watching. Check out the carousel. There are more items than I've spoken about. I'll be back tomorrow. If you have any questions, you've got to know me now. So next time you see me, say hello and tell me where you're watching from. This has been Stephen, live from Wiltshire, England. Thank you for watching. Bye.